Was that the right call? Is this something that the U.S. should be involved in? World policing, policing the world stage. Should we go even?
But just FYI, FYI, like my narrative about like being pro Destiny but still being critical of Destiny is not enough for anti-fans, okay? This is why the anti-fans are absolutely ridiculous and they should be made fun of, okay? It's because they're so anti-Destiny to the point where even giving a harsh critique like that is not enough for them. So this is why they should be made fun of, okay? Like, fuck.
Further, should we go for regime change in Iran? What about other areas
Like at that
in the
point, you
world?
just
Should we be protecting Taiwan? Should we be involved in Ukraine? Should we be involved in Israel at all? Should we divest from these things? We're going to talk about it all. We got some great guests, and I'm going to give the mic to them to kind of give
Wait,
their
does Chud
stance,
actually
give
say
their
Willie
thoughts,
Mac is in
and we'll get
Destiny's
into
back
it.
pocket? There's
First
no shot,
and
dude.
foremost, we're going to give the mic to Mr. Soy
That's
Pill
crazy.
himself. Give us your thoughts. Give us your take. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm the Soy Pill. My take on this is super simple. I'm not pro-intervention in every single possible case. Obviously, the Americans have done awful things, regime change in places where there shouldn't have been, Iraq war. However,
Also,
I'm
Willie hate,
very much
sure.
pushing back against the anti-intervention
The
populist
Willie hate
brain
is
rot
kind
that
of
has
dumb,
existed in this space as of the last 5 to 10 years, both on the right and the left. There's plenty of places where America has the wherewithal and the power and the responsibility, I might even say, to intervene, whether that be with US aid, whether that be to help stop genocides like in Kosovo. And I think that there are just a lot of good ways that we can use the biggest military in the world to actually do
genocides like in Kosovo. To what side? Hello, Wintermeat, are you here? Oh no! Kosovo mentioned Serbs? Serbs, anyone?
good things rather than just horrible, awful things. So anyone who says America first, intervention bad, I very much vehemently push back against. There are plenty of places where we can intervene that are good things.
He's anti-Serb.
And I think that we should support them.
Good.
Okay, well, thank you for
Thank
being
God.
here. We'll get into
Thank
it
God
as we
for
go.
mentioning Kosovo,
Next
but
up,
not in the
we got
way.
Tim Imholt. Tim, how you doing? What's up?
Remember,
I'm
Kosovo
doing
belongs
well.
to Albania, okay? Kosovo.
I love the buzzwords
Kosovo,
brain rot
Ece,
and other
Albania,
stuff that get thrown around that are just getting
I don't
kind
know
of
how to
old
speak
and
Serbian.
stretched
Okay?
out.
I will butcher the
when it
language,
comes to
actually.
intervention, we've done it too often.
In order to spite
we've done it too easily. We've just flipped a switch.
Is this a winter? Is this a sorry, not winter? Is this a Middle East intervention debate? Sorry, Freudian slip there. Okay, because I hate him so much. No, I think this is an America intervention debate where Lonerbox is like has to, I don't know, compete with people on or something. If so, this is gonna blow. I don't know. We'll see. You know.
And said, "Hey, let's go off and start, invading other
it's about
countries
Iran.
and
It's about Iran. Okay,
doing
there
regime
you go.
change." We are not designed to be the world policeman. We should not be the one who gets to unilaterally decide what happens where. There's supposed to be international coalitions on these things.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
And I think the days of us being able to say, "I don't like what's going on in that country. Let's just send the military and get it over with." That needs to come to an end, and people need to really wrap their freaking heads around the fact that the military is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that's.
Dude, the person on the bottom left reminds me if you like, if you try to if you try to draw Peter Coffin from memory, okay? It's just that this is a 20-plus-year-old debate that everyone has already made up their mind around. Yeah, sure, but that, I'm still looking for blood sports, I'm still looking for some political-related blood sports. Yeah, we'll see.
To kill people
anyway,
and...
Let me see if we don't name... why is America so impatient when it came to Kosovo? Okay, we'll see about this one.
One of the reasons that America was so impatient when it came to Kosovo was because of the failures of the international community to intervene in Rwanda. Like, that was already still fresh in people's memories. So international barriers can actually be a very obvious hindrance in hindsight. So it's quite difficult to always...
Rick should have a more professional setup at this point. It's so funny to me that I think that I have the most professional setup out of literally fucking everyone in this space. It's ridiculous. It's like, you shouldn't have this much of an excuse, except for Destiny, maybe. All right, except for maybe Destiny. All right, like the fact that I have a better setup than Nicholas Diorio and shit is just unhinged. That's unhinged to me.
Ascertain, which is why I think
to
me, I think it's always better just to go with case by case examples, because
It really shouldn't be like this, okay?
It's like you were
Seriously.
saying earlier as well when you were talking
Get a
about,
grip.
it felt like you were kind of going a little bit fast and loose between regime change on the one hand, but then also like random drone strikes on the other. Obviously, these are two like very, very different
Everyone
acts.
is so sure. No,
I'm just
everyone's an
wondering,
expert.
like,
You
is there
don't,
any
you don't get it.
particular
Everyone is an expert
intervention
in
in recent
geopolitics,
years or
apparently, okay?
something historical that we want to argue over? Because I think when we speak broadly like this, it's much harder to grasp exactly like, obviously the drone striking Syria is very different from intervening Ukraine, or bombing Iran for a day is different from the Iraq war. So
actually, Tim, before you answer, can I give what I think you're trying to say and tell me if this is wrong, because this might be an answer to what Lonerbox is saying, and interrupt me whenever you want. But is your idea that like, because we do have this unilateral power,
no one watching unless you're
even though we could look at this at a case-by-case basis
confidently
and point
say
to
I
some of
don't
these
know,
things as
okay?
successful and
Listen, people need to confidently say I don't know more often, okay? Say, yeah, you know what? I haven't looked into that. I don't know. But meanwhile, but you know why that's a bad strat in debates sometimes? Like, it just makes you look bad because it's like, oh, I don't know about that. And they're like, well, I do know. And this is why I'm going to use it as an analogy. Okay, thank you, Wintermute. Fuck you. Okay?
probably morally just, because that also comes with all of the negative side effects that it shouldn't be on us.
Meanwhile, when you actually search up the historical context of whatever they're talking about that they're so confident about, turns out they're like fabricating like 50% of it. It's crazy.
Ever, and it should always be kind of
really
this coalition
saying,
thing.
I don't
Is that
know?
more or less your position?
No, the only thing you can say is, I don't know, and then you say, sorry, I just don't think we can use that analogy because I don't know about that example, so I don't know if you can argue on this if you're using that as an analogy, okay? The thing is like people find that as a point of weakness. Like, the audience will find that as a point of weakness. That's why it's so hard to use in debates. Like, I don't know, it's just, this is why misinformation is so strong, okay? Because, like, the more confidently you lie about something or fabricate or twist something, the more you look good. Like, yeah, like, fuck. Like, the one time where I actually, like, searched up mid-debate about, like, what Wintermute is saying in the first debate that we had, turns out, like, he completely left out so much details. Like, how, like, the people against the KOA, the army that he really hates, apparently, like, the people against them, like, fucking pillaged 400 mosques. Like, he left that out, apparently, to, like, paint the Serbs in a good light. So yeah, I'm just saying, this is why, you know, like, people are just so confidently lying, you know? It's crazy. Like, actual bad faith debate tactics. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think we should focus more on getting those sorts of international coalitions, because, you know, like, when you look at, like, go back to the
appetite out there
when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State.
Nah, people like experts.
We went in
people
and,
only want to listen to people who
basically
know it all.
executed more, you know, Gaddafi.
I like to think that
threw him
people
out
are
of
good
office,
faith,
and he wound up being executed as a result of that.
Who knows it all.
And then, you know, the Secretary of State comes out and goes,
Why do you think people watch
we saw
Lonerbox?
he died, right? And there was sort of this bragging moment.
Jay Stoke had her committed so he could stream about her. He's unhinged. No. Really? Can you show me proof of that? I don't know. I'm sorry for asking, putting you on the spot for that, but, like, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Okay. Yeah.
Of that. Is it really on us to decide, hey, look, that's a bad leader, we're going to throw his butt out and let you guys fill the vacuum with whoever you want?
Well,
now,
as Lonerbox said, that was a
about
coalition. That wasn't a
it was
unilateral.
not only was it a coalition, it was also the Security Council was in favor of it as well. I think Russia abstained, but yeah, even the Security Council approved Libya. Yeah,
they were okay, but we sucked at it, right? We didn't really finish the job. We kind of just went in and said, "Okay, great, you got a new country."
It's really funny that we should pretend it's true.
Right, but is every failure now the mark of whether or not we should ever try ever again?
I remember
or
how
because
funny
that was
Hitler
so bad,
was.
we should never intervene.
I'm
Like,
kidding.
if that had happened before Kosovo and the NATO had said maybe we should go in and help there, would you say, well, no, because look how bad Libya?
I don't listen. If Wintermute wants to, like, ramble so bad, why doesn't he get on a WIC panel? I'm serious. Like, literally anyone could get onto a WIC TV panel. Like, if Winter really wants an audience so bad, why doesn't he do something like that? Like, if he's so confident, if he's so confident in terms of, like, shit like this, like, why doesn't he do that? Like, I'm just saying. It's just, yeah.
Libya went, or should we try to learn from?
Okay, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit.
A lot of civilians and could have been
Actually injured.
I need to get to Bloodsport.
Maybe want to understand governance
Oh, okay.
It's the jury
break memo.
So this guy's the unhinged guy
In the
apparently, I guess.
90s.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how they quantify. They have it's true, and there's
So I don't.
People were at those protests.
Because
Public.
this isn't again.
so it doesn't
Choose the.
So
You
were
assume so.
paid in the
Oh, so you
past.
have. It turns out that you have no data
Uh-oh.
in the regime.
All right,
I
let's
don't
see
know,
how
not
he led up.
necessarily. It could mean that they want a more diverse candidate in office for one reason or another. I don't understand all the ins and outs of the Iranian people.
I could tell
and
you
their
know
political
nothing about the
trends.
Iranian regime. Like I don't, it's just like it's the
Well,
least contested
still
fact in
have, you seem to
geopolitics.
have no data supporting your claim before. I'm just trying to clarify.
I mean,
that part.
there are polls that are obviously from
More so
like
for the
anti-regime.
audience than anyone else.
6 white guys with beards arguing about Iran love it. I mean, I guess Lonerbox can be considered a white guy, but I think he's like the least white of the group. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, like because Lonerbox he's in the UK, but he is tied to. He has family in what is that country called again? Okay, I don't know why I suddenly forgot the name of that country, but yeah. Anyway,
That
For
you have
the-
no data.
Well, there is. You can find polling if you want.
He is
There are
white.
polls
No,
that
you're
do
I
show
will say
record
yes.
high
just
support.
making
Like,
you're just
Lebanon.
making broad
Yes.
inferences on other data.
no, I'm being very
To support a
charitable. No, I'm being
conclusion
very
that you can't
charitable.
support.
I'm
yeah, no, I agree. Like, I would also describe Lonerbox as pretty white, but the thing is like he is the least white of the 6 white people here. Okay, listen, there's Irish white and then there's Lebanon white. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, shit.
being charitable to a campus dipshit who will not accept any polling agency that isn't one that
You're
you
not
already
being
support.
charitable
So
at all. You're
yes, I
expecting
am.
me to be
I'm
charitable.
arguing
Hear
on your
ridiculous
terms.
PV bullshit as usual.
I'm arguing PV has nothing to do
PV
with how popular
bullshit,
the Iranian
what?
regime is and how you measure
When we start this
popularity of
fight.
a
All your
regime in a
viewpoints are
totalitarian
sponsored.
state. Really?
And just to be
What's
clear,
your data for that?
non-smoker, there
Hey,
are
wait,
polls-
non-smoker. Hey,
Burner
what's your
Box and
data
voucher,
for the fact? Do you
please.
think I'm paid by PV right now?
I think there's a lot of data showing that you do receive money
please
from
come
PV.
Since when? When?
Since I think the last time that was published was what, like a year ago?
So you think I'm still paid by PV now?
I would assume so.
You
were
assume so?
paid in the
Oh, so you have.
past.
It turns out that you have no data. No
Someone's
data
been
to back up this
listening
claim.
to
What do you think
conspiracy.
You've
PV's?
been paid in the past.
Yeah, and on
Are we
PV's channel,
talking
have
about
I, when on,
progressive victory in the
and when
year
on
of our Lord,
PV's, yeah, and when on PV's
2025?
channel did I ever talk about Iran? You realize they uploaded my content. My content for PV is public.
Well,
When
no,
did I talk about
all
Iran?
PV
The fuck is PP? Okay, so there was a controversy a while ago about how Progressive Victory, aka Destiny's associated super PAC group, was paying off content creators, okay? Just for the record, what they were doing is in fact shady, okay? Because what Progressive Victory was doing is that they were paying streamers to do their work without like notifying the public that they were actually paying these streamers, okay? So that is in fact shady behavior. But the thing is that I think that a lot of PV like claims are overblown, but at the same time they still have done canvassing work that is, I think, in my opinion, significant. Okay, so yeah, like it goes both ways. Okay, it goes both ways. And I will say that yes, Brianna Wu still does suck. Okay, even though she is a part of PV before, I'm pretty sure she was kicked out. Okay, because she sucked so much. All right, and she didn't do any work. You know?
streamers have certain things in common.
Yeah,
You guys are
chemistry
neocon libs.
Yeah, they
You always
believe
have
certain
been.
basic.
Also, for the record, before they were being paid a lot of money, though. For the record, okay, like they were being paid like 1,000 a week. Like Wick was being paid 1,000 a week, which is why his content is so lazy. Okay, because he is only making content in order to satisfy PV. He is not making content in order to be an actual real content creator. And he didn't disclose this until he was pressed on it. You know, which people might view as something that is, you know, not good.
Truisms like the Iranian regime is not
Lonerbox
very
is
popular.
share-
like,
yeah.
we
That's
yeah.
a lie.
We share some
That's a
basic,
lie.
Iran is so
basically accepted
authoritarian,
truths.
So
Yeah.
we should practice authoritarianism outwardly on the Iranian people.
for
When did I
rent
say
Force some
that?
Gene change
When
on
did I
them.
say I was pro
Because
regime
they're too
change?
stupid to
For a content
organically
creator, yeah.
have a liberal democratic movement in their own country.
When did I say I
Are
was
we
pro
talking
regime
about
change in
progressive
Iran?
victory? Can I ask? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, this guy's like a
Apparently.
mental
Well, I
fucking
want to say Progressive
conspiratorialist.
Victory helped
Yeah.
me out financially for my recent video, and I thank them for that. And that's why I believe my Iranian positions, because they paid me to. No, non-smoker, there are polls that you can look up right now that actually support what you're saying.
He doesn't believe any of them, though, because they're like state.
I know,
but
but I'm just letting him know if he believed in data, which I don't know what
I'm saying.
There are polls that show the overwhelming support for the military
I'm
actions
saying.
in Iran. So you don't need to look at photos and videos. You can just show there are polls.
So wait, so you're talking the Mava poll? You're talking about that one? From the Netherlands?
I'm trying to help you out,
quiet now,
I'm trying to help you out.
It's all State Department, right?
Telegram groups, really reliable stuff.
I'm literally trying to help you. This is your argument.
I don't need your help.
That you don't have to look at videos and photos. You can look at the people over.
You're such an ineffective
because your current argument is I saw a bunch of photos.
Yeah, but he saw photos. He saw pictures of the protesters, like Trump and his crowd sizes. Fucking hell. I'm also just going to say, coming back to talking about Iran's intentions and their ideology, there's nothing more charming than like white Westerners trying to like impose their own ideas on what a foreign regime believes and what they commit to. Iran does want to destroy Israel, like just because I don't know how direct you have it to say when you've got like Khomeini every year at Quds Day, which was, it was an Iranian holiday, by the way, where they say that the Zionist regime is a lethal, a cancerous tumor. It's a cancerous entity in the Muslim world that should be eradicated, where you've got Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini in the 70s in the Governance of the Jurists describing them as wretched, the Jews that started the state of Israel. The fact that even when they were going along with the JCPOA, all of which had restrictions which were temporary, by the way, temporary restrictions, the sanction relief was not temporary, if you bothered to read the thing. And when they went through with the JCPOA, they were still under fire constantly because the whole point of the JCPOA was supposed to be assuring the world that they did not have intentions to carry out wars of annihilation against other countries. And even though they joined the JCPOA, which also involved sanction relief to do with ballistic missiles, like they were happening side by side, and they went and tested a bunch of ballistic missiles and said, yeah, these missiles, they've got Israel's name on it. We're testing the range for Israel, the entity, which will be destroyed one day. And we have a fucking clock that counts down to the destruction of Israel in 25 years, which they first said in 2015. So yeah, I don't know why you have to like superimpose your fantasies onto Iran.
It's interesting because before you dismissed the clean break memo as not being like an explicit outline of foreign policy, but you're taking the Ayatollah's statements at certain events and saying, oh, well, that clearly demonstrates Iran's desire to destroy Israel. But you're also ignoring tons of statements from Netanyahu about comparing Iran to Nazi Germany, speaking at the UN General Assembly, saying that the hour is getting late. We have to stop Iran's nuclear weapons program before it's too late. By the way, that was fucking 13 years ago, inching us ever closer to war with Iran to take out the regime there. Like, that's been a consistent plan from the Israeli state for quite some time. Yet you seem to think
I don't even know about the whole like nuclear thing, but the thing is that, and the reality of the situation is that if you have a country that is constantly funding Hamas and they're also funding the Houthis, right, to do war crimes on their own civilians, okay, I think you can reasonably justify taking them out, no? Like, fuck these people. Like, these people are literally the people that are going against you, and they're funding the people who are going against you in a proxy war, right? Just because they are the ones funding doesn't mean that they should be, like, abstaining from any kind of consequences, no? Anyway.
That's
just my opinion.
Those statements aren't an indicator that Israel has some aggressive stance towards Iran, and Iran is just responding to that.
No, I think
Iran is just responding to that. No, the Iranian regime change happened in 1979. And the Ayatollah, from day one, from the Governance of the Jurists, said that Iran was primarily, the Muslim world was primarily at war with the Jews. I can find that for you if you want, if you don't believe it. And they saw that Israel was an entity of wretched Jews who, with American support and with support from the Great Satan, was able to corrupt and fracture the Muslim world and should be eradicated. I'm sorry.
Do you think those statements were made by the new Iranian regime just because of like an inherent anti-Semitism? Or do you think that there's like historical, sort of precedent for the fact that they view Israel as like an illegitimate state, which was established by Europeans as like a settler colonial project?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'm going to read the sentence from Velayat al-Faqih, and you can tell me if this is anti-Semitic or anti-Zionist. Okay. From the very beginning, the historical movement of Islam has had to contend with the Jews, for it was they who first established anti-Islamic propaganda and engaged in various stratagems, and as you can see, this activity continues down to the present. Later, they were joined by other groups who were in certain respects more satanic than they. These new groups began their imperialist penetration of the Muslim countries about 300 years ago.
Weirdly sexual.
You call it anti-Zionist or anti-Semitic?
I consider...
He's fucking molding.
Okay.
I'm
read what these people have to say. I don't know why you don't read what these people have to say.
Hold on. I'll let you respond. Then we're gonna get to Beto. Then we'll get to Tim. We're gonna let them in a little bit.
I'm a penetrating Satanist.
So go ahead and
Jewish?
respond. Then we get.
I'm not even disputing the fact that that statement is anti-Semitic. I just don't think that anti-Semitism defines Iran's foreign policy stance towards Israel. They look at Israel as a hostile threat to the legitimacy of the regime because they are. Israel and the United States, as a power working hand in hand, have always sought to undermine every state in the Middle East and its sovereignty because they want a stronger Israel, because a stronger Israel means a stronger U.S. presence in the Middle East.
Do you think it's a total coincidence? Because you keep talking about clean break, and I guess you don't understand the difference between...
It's really weird defending the same regime that is allied with North Korea and Russia, dude. It's actually unhinged. Listen, you don't need to know much about Iran to understand that being allied with North Korea and Russia is like bad voodoo, dude. It's just bad vibes. Like, what else can I say? It's bad vibes to be allied with Iran. Fuck, if Iran is supplying you weapons and they're allied with Russia and North Korea, like, fuck, it's really hard to defend them, dude. Like, I'm just saying.
Between wanting to destroy a country and wanting regime change in a country that's trying to destroy you. Is there anything that's a coincidence that every country that Israel seems to want to...
When was that written?
That's from the 70s, 79.
Iran.
So do you think something from 50 years ago is relevant to the world we live in today?
No. Well, you know what totalitarian regimes work, right?
I'm asking a question. Yes or no, do you think something...
Kind of red flag. Kind of cringe. When his friends are all huge red flags, maybe you aren't noticing his red flags. True. It's like a fucking BPD girl in the middle of their honeymoon arc, not noticing the red flags, okay? Like, I think that is all lefties, okay? They're all BPD girls who don't notice all the red flags that are going on, even though literally all the countries have big fucking red flags, okay? So, you know, there you go, all right? That's an apt analogy, all right? And here's the thing, all right? There are literally, I'm pretty sure there are, I've seen this before, there are Iranian military experts serving with the Russians against the Ukrainians. Like, that in of itself is already bad voodoo, okay? That's bad voodoo. And in addition to the bad voodoo, if we can agree that Russia could be committing genocide against the Ukrainians, right? Iran is assisting Russia in committing genocide against the Ukrainians. It's unhinged. And they're providing Shahed drones to commit war crimes against the fucking Ukrainians, okay? Yeah, like, fuck, that's unhinged. You seen that Dean Withers clip with him asking for fans to dox and then call CPS on some dude? I've heard of it, but maybe we'll cover it, all right? But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think that lefties actually view the red flags as green flags. Nah, they're colorblind. Yeah, you're right. There's a sunk cost fallacy happening at the far left, in my opinion, regarding the Middle East. Maybe they... I don't know. I think the more, like, they're hated by America, the more they think they're based or some shit. I don't know. It's just
thing written
delusional.
50 years ago is, oh, hey, look, I have this 50-year-old document. This is exactly what's going on in the Middle East right now.
Well, given that the same rhetoric has continued to this day.
The Quran was written almost 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, especially, this is like the document is the...
Also, you know what's funny? If you don't take, like, a 15-year-old document or, like, Hamas's original charter seriously, but then you won't look past someone saying the N-word with the hard R, like, 15 years ago, you're a hypocrite, okay? You have no morals or principles, okay? You can't have your cake and eat it too, okay? Either you're holding people and organizations to account 15 years ago, or you're not, okay? Like it's really as simple as that, all right? Like, yeah, you have to be consistent on this shit.
Foundational principles of Islamic government, which is still adhered to this day by the Iranian regime. It's the same regime.
Okay, so this 50-plus-year-old document is still what's driving what's going on today. So what's your solution to this problem? If 50-year-old documents are solving it, let's come up with a solution that says, this is how you fix it today.
He's still extremely
because
popular.
I'm really tired of dealing personally with crap that's kind of left over from the World War II era and sort of the 20, 30 years after that.
Can you
Yeah,
send
it's
me that Ding clip,
2025.
though?
We should be able to come up with a freaking solution to these problems that doesn't live in the last century.
Personally, I think with
before.
Iran, the best thing that you can do is stop them from being a threat to other countries, and stop the proxies, and stop the nuclear and ballistics threat. That's all you can do. You cannot do like foreign imposed regime change on Iran. It's too diverse. There's actually too much of a risk that if they had killed the Ayatollah, for example, the problem there is that the IRGC has.
I honestly think it's the Z situation that has really caused Ding Withers to crash out for real, okay? I think the Z situation has completely broken his mind. Like, wasn't he generally, like, in a good position overall before the Z situation? But then when the Z situation dropped, like, his entire, like, fucking mask slipped. Yeah.
Invested so much recently, unprecedented numbers,
yeah, sure.
in
but you have to be consistent,
indoctrination,
you know?
because of the fear
It's fine
of
to say
unpopularity.
that, but you have to be consistent.
So the result of that is that they've ended up taking their youth members, the latest generation, and spending so much investment on nothing I said
they're
was
so unpopular.
Yeah, nothing I said
they're
was
so unpopular. So
nothing I said was incompatible with that.
Why wouldn't? But wait. If they're so unpopular, why wouldn't taking the regime out be hugely popular? Why wouldn't the people in Iran just celebrate that and go along with whatever Western bullshit is imposed on them?
Okay. If you let me finish, I would have gone to exactly that point. But if the problem with the threat of getting rid of this current regime now, without a benevolent force in there to go and like readjust the economy and set up a new government and everything else,
holy
is that
fuck,
the
my fingers
threat
hurt
now
so
is that
much.
The IRGC
you have no idea how much
created
I'm
a
mashing my
monster, and the fact
fingers
that they
right
have
now.
spent so much in indoctrinating their
This shit
youth
is crazy.
generation that the third generation of the IRGC is actually the most radical. They are far more radical than the first and the second.
Hold on.
And the threat.
I'm gonna go to maybe a more
IRGC's power.
Need to be more cautious.
Inflicted. So
more and done it worse. Having some form.
Well, because we were attacked.
73.
Pushing back.
Follow. Give them thanks.
Worst one, since it hasn't been said yet, is probably the Yemeni civil war. Turns out Saudis can't really be trusted with weapons. It's kind of fucking mental, and that blockade was kind of insane.
Come on.
The best one, I was going to say Kosovo initially, but I'm actually going to change my answer and just say that those B2 runs over Iran were very fucking impressive. That was some cool shit.
It's a little early
and also,
to say that, right?
my Mossad handlers are paying me handsomely for that.
Oh, for
it's
fuck's
not
sake!
Still intact. Literally, no one is saying that anymore. But okay.
LPV to get the check down. By the way, they have not.
But yeah, the Mossad handlers are. It's that whole thing where people are like confusing the fact that they can go back to enrichment within a few months versus how far back the program is set, right? Like if I spend 2 hours making a fucking cake and you destroy it on the second hour, I can get started on it again in 5 minutes, but that doesn't mean I haven't been set 2 hours back. It's silly. Yeah. Read the reports.
Let's go to non-smoker. The best and the worst. Post-war.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, the worst I would have to say is the Iraq War. I mean, just in terms of number of people killed, especially innocent people, documented war crimes, the creation of ISIS, etc. I would say the Iraq War for sure, and like basically zero justification. And the best, I don't know. I feel like you guys might push back on this. I would say the Suez Crisis. Pushing back France, Israel, etc. Yeah, I would say that would be the best.
And Wick, I know you like defending Pax Americana, but you notice all of us had a different awful thing America has done.
The question is, would the world be better off with or without America? You can list 10,000 awful things that America has done, and I could agree with every single one.
And
but
1
the
million,
question becomes,
1 million good things, probably.
Overall, on the balance, if America was isolationist and did none of those things, would the world be better or would the world be worse?
Yeah,
and my argument is the world would be worse because
Islam never
you
cared
can do
about women's
1,000
rights.
bad things, but they can be outweighed. There is a balance sheet here, and we can view the good actions and the effects that those have had, and they can outweigh the bad. And I would argue that in most cases, America has done well. But
Wick, can you name 5 good interventions that haven't been named yet?
That haven't been named yet. If I took time to think about it, yes, I probably could. Okay, well, the intervention that we ran on your mom last night was great. Okay, we caught the whole Marine Corps, and we all took turns. Okay, it was great. It was
Wow.
wonderful. Some
Wow,
B2
you're so
bombing
funny,
runs.
Wick.
This is a way of saying no.
But
What flavor of crayons were you guys eating?
look, the problem is, like, it's when it comes to numbers, you can have
Wick
10
can't pull off these
bad
kinds of jokes.
interventions, but they can be outweighed by one really, really important and really, really good one. I think that the most important one right now, which I fear we are failing at, is Ukraine. We need to do better there. It will be a stain on America if we withhold our aid to them and we do not intervene. And I think this is one of the main
I'm
reasons
so fucking
that
focused. You have
currently
no idea.
I am pro-American.
The caffeine is kicking
hegemony
in.
because we need to be able to intervene because Russia and China are rising and they're going to be facing.
Can somebody please find me that picture of Wick with his hand on Pixie's leg at Progressive Victory meetup? I need another you know, fucking callback to that one. Okay, we need some more Wick hate around here. All right, Wick fucking being a old perv. Okay, complimenting Pixie's appearance on stream and making her uncomfortable. Placing Lavler in front of everybody else in terms of clout, okay, to have her on in front of everyone else, in front of the sick and chained, okay. Also, prioritizing Brianna Wu because she pays his checks, okay, or anything of that like, okay. Not all of Destiny's Orbiters are good saint angels, all right. Some of Destiny's Orbiters are reprehensible, except when they all appear on his stream. When they appear on stream, they're like the most little dog person ever on their own stream. Ooh. The most pathetic evil maniacs.
We're going to be facing more and more threats, such as that. Ukraine is but first.
Never meet your heroes.
And we will be having more in the future, and so we need to rearm, repair, re-ready ourselves to, frankly, go to war with what we got. Okay, with that, I've kept you guys here long enough.
I had a question for Wick, but
I'll
let it go. On your subject of Ukraine, since you think we should be involved in. Is that just throwing money at the problem, or do you think we should put boots on the ground? Because it's clear that throwing money at it's not solving.
I think we can do what we need to do without boots on the ground, but there will come a time, perhaps, that I think putting boots on the ground might be an option that I would be okay with.
Wait, are we really struggling to think of 5 successful U.S. military interventions?
He says that has not been named yet, and you guys named really good ones.
So. Lebanon 58. There's a very unstable period there, and that was calmed down partially by U.S. intervention. That's where you got the National Pact from. Lebanon in 82 actually was when the Israeli bombing raids on West Beirut, which were going far beyond any PLO presence, and Reagan was actually the one to rein that one in.
Okay. Thank God. Okay.
I don't know if you count the peace process and like Jimmy Carter between Israel and Egypt, even just in Israel alone, like they've done quite a bit. Obviously Ukraine, but you know.
I meant off the top of his head. By the way, I am the pro-intervention side. I still think it's good, but yes, those are good ones.
Look, if I chat GPT'd
it, give me my rewards. Give me my fucking rewards. Mate.
Okay, with that, let's get to closing statements. So these wonderful, lovely individuals, right, have given their time to come on my show and give you guys content. So please go and give them a follow, give them thanks, and subscribe to their channels. I got the links in my YouTube description, so you click on their links.
Give me all that
you can,
shit.
Give them a follow and all
give
those
things.
Give it
all
to
me. Yes.
Yeah. Tell people, remind people who you are, and give closing thoughts. And we're going to start with non-smoker. And we're going to end with Tim. You have no idea. Non-smoker, close us out.
Twitch.tv/non_smoker.
Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, I'm about to do live polls on stream. Okay, wish me luck. All right. Do it. I'm going to do it. Hold on, I'm going to restart Firefox real quick. Okay. Fuck, dude. Oh, my hands. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. No, we're talking about this. I am. The lab leak hella paying off, not with viewership. Oh. Yeah, Destiny honestly never gave a fuck about viewership, that's true. I wish you luck, I'm here for it. It's new pain, okay? It's a different kind of pain, all right? Like this shit is new kinds of pain.